Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. All right. We are live on YouTube. How is everybody doing today? Happy Friday to everyone. It's another beautiful day here in Redwood City, California, where I live. Very, very little wind. A little bit cooler than yesterday, about 78 degrees when I stepped out of my car. So, a little bit cooler. And it was really nice at the end of my walk on my way out of the trail last night. The breeze started to pick up, and that breeze was bouncing right off the water, and it just was like natural air conditioning. So and I'm beginning to feel it as I get closer to the trail. This is going to be a nice, beautiful walk today, and I'm so glad that you all could join me, those that are able to join. Let's see, is there anybody else, or is there anyone here so far? My lady is here, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Dawn, hey babe, how you doing? Hey everybody, Holly's Hauntings and Happenings is here as well. Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to the show, and welcome to the other 4 people that are currently here. I've got a very interesting topic to discuss here tonight. This stream will have tremendous replay value. I'm going to share my thoughts regarding entitlement. You know, and the fact that entitlement, in my opinion, it should be a fact, but let's just call it my opinion for now, that entitlement is ruining society. And we all need a mindset reset. You know, one more time, entitlement, is ruining society. Like in this modern world, especially here in the U.S., where I live, I've never seen citizens feel so entitled to shit than as I have in the last 10 to 15 years or so. And it's never been like this, right? Now, there's always been entitlement here in the U.S., but not at the level of where it's at, right? And in other countries, there really wasn't much of any entitlement, but now entitlement has pretty much, spread across the globe. And I'll share my thoughts on why I feel this is happening. And this goes beyond what I've said in the past regarding millennials being the most entitled generation ever. I still agree with that, right? But it's not just millennials, it's everyone. Everyone feels nowadays that they're entitled to something of some sort. But then you have people that feel super entitled, right? And we'll talk more about that and how I feel it's ruining society in this modern world. And it's causing, just lots of issues, causing more arguments, more drama, causing more fights, and even causing, people doing things that are worse. We won't say that. We want to try to be as clean on YouTube as possible. Certain people are taking other people out because of this entitlement. And we'll get more into that as the show goes on. We've got 9 people here, 3 thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I want to start off at the very beginning of the show and just remind everyone that this channel, along with my other channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, that my lady and I both run, are primarily funded through crowdfunding and your donations. So if you feel it in your heart and soul that you're getting value here, and you're also able to, spare a little to support myself or your favorite creators, please consider making a donation in any amount based on the value you feel you are receiving. If you're here live, you can go to the bottom of the chat and hit that super chat or super sticker. If you're watching on the replay, maybe not right after it ends, right after the live stream ends, but typically within 12 hours after the live stream ends or less, once the video is finished processing, you'll see that thanks heart below the title on mobile and desktop. That's called the super thanks. You can make a donation in the comments section. It'll highlight your comment in the comments section. Or if you prefer to donate via Cash App or PayPal, Nightbot's sharing my Cash App and PayPal links every 7 minutes in the chat. On PayPal, you can go to paypal.me/Coach Eli. And on Cash App, you can go to $the real Coach Eli. And as always, donations are greatly appreciated, but they are not required. We're not going to pay any less attention to you if you don't donate, or pay more attention to you if you do donate. We're going to treat you equally. All I'm saying is that, hey, the way to keep on creating out here is for it to be funded and supported, and if people can afford to do it, we would appreciate that, because we want to give you more content. We want to give you more positive and uplifting content, which is what we do over here in my neck of the woods. Yeah, it's a little bit cooler today, a little bit breezier. It's actually very nice. Like, just look at this. Come on, switch. And I'm not feeling the sneeze attack I felt yesterday when I first came on the trail. So that is good. That is good. The allergy medication's working better today. Or maybe there's less pollen in the air. Who knows? I'm just not reacting to it right now. Also, my lady and I are still planning to do some regular content. It's just she hasn't been feeling that great lately. And we reached out to her doctor today. And we just have a few things to resolve, and then she'll be all good to go. Yeah, Holly, is my audio sounding okay? Is it coming through the headset? Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's a little cooler than yesterday, a little less bright, but I love it. This is perfect. This is perfect weather for walking. I'll probably get this trail done much quicker today, because when it's cooler, I don't get dehydrated as quickly. And I typically don't even bring any water when I do these trails, because I drink a lot before I go on the trail, and I don't want to have anything extra to carry besides my equipment. My lady bought me a backpack for this. I should probably start using that. And it has an attachment where I can sip water with the backpack on. Maybe I'll start using that, especially when it gets hotter in the summer. But yeah, it's I can't complain, Holly. It feels like a really nice walk. And as soon as my lady is cleared by her doctor or doctors, she has an army of doctors on top of her primary care physician. She has great health care. I wanted to join me out here, and we'll do streams together. I'm also thinking, Don, if you're around, I could bring on one person at a time while I'm on my walks, and you could join me live on the air while I'm on these walks. We may end up doing that, or I may start bringing on some people that I trust while I'm doing these walks. And I will only bring people on that I trust, because if something goes wrong, my only option would be just cut off the stream and delete it. I can't do any delays out here or anything like I do in the studio. So I wouldn't want anyone coming on, joining me on mobile. You know, I've decided I'm going to address all trolls head on. Jay, who's Jamie, has a new channel with over 150 live viewers. Yes, on his Chroma King James channel. He has 2 of those channels. He's further trying to circumvent the system, sir. And you're just trying to get my attention, and you got it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll talk about it for a second. You don't have to come here and try to sneak one past me, right? You don't think I know what's going on? Like, I didn't want to know what's going on, but people got me invested, so I'm a little invested. I don't pay that much attention to it, but I know what's going on. He's on his Chroma King James channel live. I just happened to go live around the same time he did. And I don't care. I don't care what he does or what you do, right? Why do you care so much about my audience? My audience wants nothing to do with his audience or you. So whether I talk about it or not, it makes no difference, because my audience that truly likes me doesn't like that content, and vice versa. His audience doesn't like my content. So how are you benefiting by coming in here and saying that Janie, on his new Chroma King James channel, further circumventing his YouTube ban, has 150 viewers? Who gives a shit, right? Am I supposed to like get upset and triggered, or am I supposed to throw a party, or what do you want me to do? Or is he sending you here because he desperately wants to promote whatever he has left, right? I'm just doing my own thing, but do you not think that other people that don't like him, an army of people that don't like him, are going to get those channels taken down? I'd be surprised if that stream makes it through the whole stream. I mean, have you seen the lapel mics with the wind reduction before? They are pretty cool. All the big channels are using them. Well, yeah, Holly, my girlfriend, Dawn, was telling me about that earlier today, because you had told her about it, right? And I actually have those lapels, and I also have smaller windscreens. Give me a second here. Let me let somebody pass on by. The truth of the matter is they don't work that well. Now, here's the thing. If I was just standing stationary somewhere and not walking, those lapels would work fine. But like for me, like look at me right now. Like I am walking directly into the wind. And those little tiny pieces of foam are not thick enough or big enough to cancel out the wind. That's why I have to use, this is the smallest windscreen I can use that will work. And you have to also, do you remember those days, Holly? Well, some days when I do these walks, when it's really windy, like 30 or 40 or 50 mile an hour wind, when it's really windy, you could still hear some of the wind through this. It does a good job of canceling that out, but yeah. Jay is evading his YouTube ban, shilling for donations. Well, so why do you feel the need to come in here and tell me that? I mean, you guys love, these people really want me to go toe-to-toe with James, and I have no desire to go toe-to-toe with him or anyone on his side. I don't want to do commentary on James. I don't want to do reaction videos to him. I don't really want to talk about him. But if you guys are going to come to my chat, I'll address it, because it's stupid. I'll address anything that people talk about here in the chat. Yesterday, you guys were talking about, you know, people doing certain things to my woman. I addressed that. We had a good laugh at that. If you guys want a good laugh, that's fine. Jay is evading his YouTube ban, shilling for donations. Holly, can you kind of give me the gist in a few words what that account you said, well, what that account you banned said? I mean, what were they? Just, you don't have to write the whole thing out. I know you can't copy and paste on mobile. You did the right thing to ban them. I'm just curious to know. Was it a comment more in his favor or my favor? I think there's a little squirrel right there. Hi, squirrel. Hi, squirrely. Yeah, so Holly, yeah, no, I pretty much tried everything, to get the best sound while I'm on these trails. And while this may look somewhat funny or kind of funny, it works very well. The sound is really, really good. And all this is a cheap $12, $13 Logitech 3.5mm jack headset with this windscreen on it. And then I use an adapter to be able to plug it into my iPhone. And it's directly plugged in. It's not wireless or Bluetooth. Yeah, this is direct sound. That's why it's so good. It's all wired. It's hardwired in. He wants to get your opinion on how he always mistreats women. I don't have to talk about that, dude. You know the answer to that. I know the answer to that. And quite frankly, it's all act. Maybe some of it is somewhat real, right? In which I don't condone abuse in any way. But come on, this is all one big WWE act, right? And the funny thing is, I'll just say this real quick. A lot of people say that, Jamie uses these people, right? Or uses these women. Like right now, he's using these women to live stream on their channels to evade his ban, right? Well, these women are using him too. They're both using each other, so it's fair game, right? Do you not think these women, because of him, are getting more views and making more money in super chats? Now, Jamie's still making some money, but so are these people, right? Ultimately, in the end, Jamie will make more if he can keep getting people to do this, because if he can go on 5 or 10 women's channels, even if those women are monetized and they're making some money, ultimately, those are more places where Jamie can promote his Cash App, his PayPal, his Patreon, etc. It's about leveraging as many people as possible. And each one of those women that helps him, they make a little bit of money, and they make some okay money that they wouldn't have made regardless, right? You think this Amber chick that's letting him do that on his channel now would be at 2K subs if it wasn't for Jamie? You think she'd be getting super chats and memberships if it wasn't for Jamie? I'm not trying to give him credit, but that's the way that system works. So the bottom line is they're all using each other. That's all it is. That's the bottom line. There you go. Holly says, I am slow on typing these damn little keys. Yeah, on the phone. I prefer AEW, but I digress. Are you talking about the other wrestling association? So how's the temp in Cali? Let's move on, love. Respectfully speaking, honey and Holly, I would appreciate it if I can just speak freely on what I want to speak on without being silenced or being told what I can and can't say. I would never do that to you, babe, or anyone else, right? I think there's a time and place where it makes sense to talk about certain things and other times to not, right? And here's the thing. Any way you look at it, there's a purge happening right now. Okay, no problem. Yeah, no, I love you, babe. Babe, I love you. I do love you. Don't get me wrong. Please do not take offense to this. But there's a purge happening right now. And any which way I look at it, I'm still trying to rebuild my audience with the right audience, because the wrong audience is still filtering out. I'm saying this publicly because I want people to know what's going on. I want to be honest with people, right? I want to own it, right? And there's my troll again, you know? Come on, dude. You want some Coach Eli love too? Coach Eli helps everyone, right? I love everyone, right? Yeah, so Holly, I'll one of these days I'll look to see if there's a better solution when you're walking a trail with high wind that can produce sound as great as this very affordable, very cheap way of doing it. And it's not about the fact that, I wanted to cheapify it. It just so happens that these Logitech headsets for like 12 or 13 bucks, like they have a really good microphone on them. And they plug in directly into a 3.5mm jack. And they last for a while. I mean, I typically get anywhere from a year and a half to 2 years of usage, constant usage, before all the circuits mess up to the point where it doesn't work anymore. So what I do, I've got like 4 brand new spares of this type of microphone in my closet. I have spares of everything. I have 2 extra selfie sticks. I've got an extra iPhone adapter in case this one goes out and won't accept the 3.5mm jack anymore. If you're gonna do the YouTube stuff, you gotta have spares on hand before you need them, because you never know when shit's gonna go out. And that way, if something goes out, then you don't have to run out to the store. You can still do your show, right? And then order another backup at that point, right? And that's another thing I want to talk about today, is being proactive over being reactive as part of this entitlement that many, if not most people, feel they have nowadays. People feel like they're entitled to everything, like they're entitled to the world, right? And quite frankly, the only thing you're really entitled to in this world is your opinion. You're definitely entitled to your opinion, right? But that's all it is. It's an opinion. Now, some opinions could be factual, right? But the only thing you're entitled to is your opinion. And that's why I always say the only opinion of yourself that really matters is your own. If you allow other people's opinions to get to you, then that's on you. You're more to blame than them, because if what they're saying isn't true, it shouldn't matter to you. You should just be able to let it go, right? But people can't do that, especially nowadays with social media. This is why I think there's so much entitlement. People want to not work and be content creators and social media influencers. And they feel the best way to do that is by trash talking to other people to get attention and build an audience that way. And honestly, I think that's the saddest, most shittiest thing I've ever seen. That's what happens nowadays. And I just, I could do the same thing. I can be vile, I can be mean, I can call people out, I can trash talk people, I can play the system, right? I just choose not to. It doesn't make me feel good. It would not make me feel good growing that way or earning money that way. It just would not make me feel good. But most people don't care as long as they're making money and getting all the attention. That's called entitlement. They feel that they're owed it or they're entitled to it. And no, you're not entitled to shit besides your opinion. Got 11 people here. 4 thumbs up. Are you still around, babe? Just kind of curious. I'm sure she is. She may be talking to Holly on the phone and multitasking, doing something else. You know, I'll tell you, I've talked this before, I'll share it again. And my lady was kind of sharing some of her past stories with me privately earlier today. I'm not going to get into those, but, you know, she went on some dates and, you know, in her 30s and 40s, and they didn't pan out and stuff like that. Maybe she'll share them one day. That's up to her. But when I really started to notice the level of entitlement going up here in the U.S., it was probably about 15 years ago. About 15 years ago, I started noticing a change in the way that women were choosing men or choosing to go on dates with men. And my thing is this, like, I've always been a decent dude. You know, I've always been outgoing and down to earth and easygoing, right? And, you know, like in my teens and 20s, and even into my early to mid 30s, it was just real simple to keep a woman's attention and talk to her for, you know, a couple hours. Like if you were to meet her online, you could talk with her for a couple of hours one day, maybe meet her the same day and see where it goes, or meet her by the next day, right? Maybe start a relationship or whatever, right? But all of a sudden, using those same decent, normal methods, when I got to my mid-30s 15 years ago, they started to change. Why? Because things started to change digitally. Men and women started getting more and more options, right? And what I started to notice is that women started to feel entitled to be extremely picky and selective on who they want. You know, even decent guys like me that they would have normally gone for before this time, we're getting rejected. It started to, you know, what started to happen 15 years ago was that, you know, 80% of the women wanted the top 20% of men. And that's a pretty high demand for such a short supply, right? And it just totally changed the dynamic in the dating world, which is why I feel today, you know, you have a lot of men trash talking women and withdrawing from women completely, like the MGTOW men going their own way community. These men have just given up because of exactly what I said. But here's the thing. If you're a decent dude, you can still find a decent woman. It's just going to take you a little bit more work than it used to. You know, instead of talking to 1 or 2 women and then finding the good one to date, you may have to talk to 10 or 20 women, right? That's what's going on. And it is frustrating because in between relationships over the last 10 years or so, or 15 years, it's taken me going on 10 to 20 dates before finding someone I wanted to settle with. Not because I didn't want to settle with any of the others, they just weren't the right one. They weren't in the right mindset. Right? Or they were talking to so many other guys and then they try to keep you around as their backup plan, right? Women started to feel entitled to this. And I'm not saying that men haven't either. Men were feeling entitled and are still feeling entitled on the other side. They're like, well, it shouldn't be this difficult. Women shouldn't be this way. So, you know what? We're just going to withdraw. And if they want us, they can come and find us. Well, you got to put yourself out there. If you close yourself off, no woman can find you. Just don't try too hard. And throw more fishing poles into the water. The more times you cast your reel, the better chance you have of catching a good fish. Hey, Coach Eli, how you doing? No, she left the chat. Holly, why did she leave the chat? Is she okay? Is she okay, Holly? I'm great. Hope you're good too. Yeah, I'm doing quite well. She's a little upset because she told me to move on, and I said, yeah, I get what she's saying, but I want to talk about what I want to talk about. I mean, come on, that's just ridiculous, you know? I love my woman. I'm busting my butt to give her everything because I love her. And there's no need to get upset over me wanting to state an opinion. That has nothing to do with her. Yes, I know she means well for me. Babe, I know you mean well for me. And I'm not enthralling myself in drama. I'm just, hey, look. If people come into the chat and I want to address them briefly and move on, that should be my choice, right? Just like it's your choice too, right? I'm not going to argue that though, She's entitled to her opinion. I respect her opinion. I respect my woman's opinion. I respect your opinion, Holly. But at the same time, I have to also respect myself and what I want to do. Because I define who I am. No one besides me defines who I am, and no one besides yourself defines who you are. Right? I mean, if she's upset over the fact that she goes, okay, let's move on because I was laughing at a couple trolls real quick. I mean, come on. That's not really that big of a deal. Thank you for taking care of that, Holly. I could be man enough and say, you know what, babe, if I upset you, I'm sorry, but that wasn't my intention. I can't wait to get to closing on this house in North Dakota. That's great. That's wonderful, man. That's one heck of an investment. And here's the thing, Coach J-Rom. Everything goes in cycles. You'll be able to refinance that thing down to, 3 or 4% in no time, and the rates will end up going down to 2% at some point. It may take 3 to 5 to 10 years for them to get that low again, but I'm sure over the next year or two they'll go down at least couple points, and then you'll be able to refi. But yeah, you got to lock in that principal now before the principal goes up, before the value goes up, right? The ghost of whoosh whoosh at Coach Eli, I thought you said buying a house was a scam. Oh, that was a YouTube short he did. And you know, that's okay. Whether that's his opinion or a marketing thing or whatever it was, that's I'm sure he feels that way about it. He talked about it here. Whoosh whoosh. I don't think buying a house is a scam. I just think there's a right and a wrong time to buy one, and right now the interest rates are high. So, I mean, you're going to be paying more interest if you buy a house now. But then if you wait too long, you know, the value of the home might go up and it might cost more, or someone else may buy the house. That's another thing, right? You have to decide what works for yourself, right? It is a bit of a scam. I made it work. In 10 years, it will be paid off. I'm only doing a 10-year loan. Unless you're getting a better interest rate for doing a 10-year loan, Coach J-Ron, it's not worth it. Are you getting some discounts for doing a shorter term loan? Like, if you're paying the same interest rate for a 10-year loan compared to a 30, and there's really no difference. You just have more time to pay if you need it. You can always pay off your loan sooner. Whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for you. I just the methods that you're choosing to do, which may work for you, and God bless you if they do, they're not typical with most people. I get it though. I get it. Yeah, I would always stretch things out, even if I can pay it off sooner, in case something happens where I would have wished otherwise, you know? I am getting a much better interest rate, and I only financed $73,000. Okay. So you put like 75% down or something. If that's the case, yeah. I would, if you have the money to just pay it outright, I would just pay it outright. But maybe you just want to build up a little more of a nest egg before you spend an extra 73 grand. You have your own methods that work for you, and that's totally cool. Whatever works. Whatever works. My whole thing is, unless you can pay cash for something, if you're going to finance something, finance it as long as possible for the cheapest rate possible, and then if you pay it off sooner, that's all good. But if you need more time, then you have more time too. I've never, and no disrespect, it's all good if it works for you. I've just never seen anyone put like 75, 80% down and finance 25%. It's typically the other way around, or they pay it in full, or they pay it cash. But that's cool. That's cool. Whatever works. Got 19 people here. Thank you so much for being here. Please feel free to get any questions in the chat, questions, comments, or concerns. You know, we're talking today primarily about, you know, how entitled this world is. You know, and entitlement is ruining society. So, you know, we really need to change our mindset regarding this. That's what it's going to take, because people just aren't getting along anymore nowadays. People don't even talk to people when they're out in public as much. You know, people hover more online than getting out. It's really, really sad what I've seen. 146K for the house. That come down to 125. And I got a 2% reduction on interest just by doing a bit over 50K down in 10 year. Okay, yeah, you worked something out with the bank. That's great. Well, that's totally cool. Whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for you. You've got your system that's going to save you the most amount of money and also find a way to reinvest or make more money with the available money you have. I'm sure you've got all that down, which is good. Congratulations on that. Have they already accepted your offer, or are you going to be putting in an offer? Let me come over here for a second. Just gonna wait for this person to pass me by. Yeah, babe, if you're still around, I understand it's maybe it's been one of those days, and I know maybe what I said earlier might have offended you. I know you were trying to help. I just, you know, I got to be myself. Here we go again. Living rent-free at mom's is the real entitlement. Yeah. You guys wish you had what I have. I've already explained my situation, and you know, I have no shame. It just clearly goes to show some people are really, really jealous, you know, of what my family has, what I have, what I'm able to buy into. Right? It's a done deal. Just a 30-day close. Yeah, you're in escrow. Congratulations. So you're already in escrow. Fantastic. Yeah, I've got no shame at all about anything that I've done or where I live or whatever. Right? And to the people out there that want to criticize that, how much better is your situation? Would you be willing to talk about your situation? Where you live? Who pays your bills? How do you guys know who pays my bills or how my bills are paid? Are you just, sitting outside my place, or are you hiding inside my place or something? No. I got a great woman. I got a great family, great brother, great mother. And I got a great situation I was able to start buying into a few years back. This is how these people are, how jealous and entitled they feel, right? I mean, if we're going to talk about entitlement, right? First of all, I don't feel I'm entitled to anything. And that even includes my family's estate and all that. I'm very humble about that. Just 1 second, sorry. And how mature is it for people to come out here on YouTube, or in general, to come out and try to shame another man for his living situation, or where he lives, or how he pays his bills, or whatever? I mean, how mature is that, right? Just think about it, right? And here's the thing. The people that are actually, like I said, the people that are criticizing me for this are only projecting their own lifestyle, right? Because the majority of people that even have made it big on this platform, until they made it big on this platform, a lot of them were living off their family. Some of them still are. And if I was, I'd have no shame in it. But that's not the case. My point is, how much longer do we have to talk about this? Right? You want to keep bringing it up? You want me to, rent one of these airplanes and put it in the sky? If this thing will even switch, come on. Here we go. And I've always known in my head and my heart that people that treat people this way, they always get what they deserve in the end, right? So for example, these trolls, coming at me saying things like this, right? About my living situation and me being entitled and this and that, right? And they have no clue what they're talking about, right? My thing is, their day will always come. And it's not going to be me they have to face, because I could care less. It doesn't matter what they think about me or how I live my life or how I make my money or whatever, right? It doesn't matter, right? It's not about me. They're not going to have to face me. They're going to have to face the good Lord. And the good Lord's going to decide, when your time comes, are you coming with me to heaven or are you going to hell, right? Right? The only real person you're going to face justice with, in my opinion, is God. That's it. That's your real judgment day, right? I'm not trying to get all biblical here or anything like that. I'm just keeping it real. And I'll be real with all you folks. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've been very fortunate to be raised where I've been raised at by two great parents that worked hard to give my brother and I a great education. Never have to worry about food being on the table. Never have to worry about not having clothes on our bodies, etc. Right? I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate for that. And I know there are some people that are unfortunate or less than fortunate, and I feel for you. But does that give you the right to attack me for having a great family life and being raised right? Right? And being in a good situation for the future because my family put us in that good situation, right? I have no shame in talking about myself or my life or what I've been through or what I'm currently going through, because if I'm going to help people, I got to be honest and transparent with you folks. Right? And in the past, I didn't get into as great of a detail as I'm getting into today, because I just didn't want to dox people. I didn't want to affect my family. But the truth of the matter is, all these people already came at my family in real life. They've done everything they possibly can. There's nothing left, right? So now I'm like, whatever, there's nothing left. I'll come out and talk about it and use it for example purposes. My lady and I have a great thing going. And there's a bunch that we haven't shared with you folks yet, which we'll probably share down the road. And once we share that, it's probably going to trigger you more, or it's probably going to get you to talk shit more. Why? Because it's going to make you jealous, and we're not trying to make you jealous. My lady and I, we've done some great things together. We've worked hard, especially the last 6 months, to make this move. And trust me, she's done more than her part. More than her part. And she's contributing a lot more than people think she is, right? More on that will be coming soon. Another thing, just putting it out there, all raw and real, right? What are you guys trying to do? Talking about my personal life and where I live and where I get my money and how I make my money or whatever. Are you trying to embarrass me? Are you? Because I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed of anything, right? Because I know what's going on. My girlfriend knows what's going on. My family knows what's going on, right? You folks either assume or you're just making things up because you just don't like me, because you wish you could be in my shoes. And I'm not even trying to throw it in your face. I'm just saying it's just really stupid and pathetic, right? Right? And maybe the people that are coming in here trying to egg me on to talk about this, maybe you're trying to use me for content. And if that's the case, use me for content. I don't care. Because your day eventually will come, right? The more you play with fire, the more you get burned. The more you mess with the bull, eventually you'll get the horns, right? And my favorite, karma has no deadline, right? I know eventually when all the dust settles, my day will come. I'll get my chance to really prove and show what I'm made of out here on YouTube. That day has not come yet, but I'm patient, and I'm going to continue being patient. And I tell the same thing I want to say the same thing to each and every one of you. If you've been creating on YouTube and you feel like you just can't get a break, can't get a break with the algorithm, right? Keep pushing forward. Your day will come. When the dust settles, whatever dust that needs to be settled, once it settles, your day will come. And while I see the dust in my neck of the woods starting to settle a bit, it still hasn't settled completely. And I'm still going to remain patient. And I'm still going to be mature about it and respectful. And I'm not going to try to retaliate against people that are saying things about me, whether they're true or not, right? Whether they're saying negative things about me, whether they're true or not, and most of the stuff they're saying is not true. I'm not going to retaliate. There's no point, right? There's no point, because I know deep within they're a miserable clown. They're an unhappy person or a group of unhappy people, right? That's all it boils down to. Once you can learn and understand that, hey, you'll become a stronger person and things won't faze you. And you'll just be able to keep moving forward. If people try to knock you off that horse, you'll be able to keep moving forward. I'll come out here again and say right now, I really love my lady. And Babe or Holly or anyone that's here that can reach out to her. I didn't mean to offend you. I wasn't trying to offend you. I appreciate what you said to move on. You play life on easy mode and act like a winner. Your girlfriend told you to ignore the trolls. Well, I'm going to ban you now. But I'll respond to you. I don't have to ignore anyone I don't want to ignore. I can talk about what I want to talk about, and I'll ignore what I want to ignore. And like I've always said, there's a time and a place to talk about things, and a time and a place to ignore. And sir or ma'am, you're probably a sir, because women don't troll like this. Most women are not that immature like many of you grown-ass men that act like 2-year-old miserable clowns or little girls, right? No, sir, I'm not coming out here acting like a winner, okay? I'm not acting like anything. I'm coming out here and saying that this world is really messed up because of people like you. Because instead of you taking a good hard look at yourself in the mirror and learning to better love yourself and overcome your insecurities, right? You come out here and project that shit onto people like me that you wish you could be like. So that's why you're coming out here and saying, sir, you play life coach easy mode and act like a real winner. You see, sir, for you to waste the time to create a stock account like that, first of all, is just showing me how insecure and lonely and miserable and pathetic you are, right? Who in their right mind would feel the need to come to a channel like mine when all I'm doing is positively uplifting people? I'm not talking shit about you. I don't even know who you are. I'm not talking shit about anyone. But you feel the need to come in here and have your say when you really don't even know me, right? And if you do know me, I don't know you. I'm not talking about you. I haven't talked about any of these miserable clowns that have been coming at me, right? So you folks come at me for one reason, because you're unhappy that you're not in the position I'm in. And I'm not trying to throw that in your face. I'm not trying to say I'm any better than you, right? I'm not saying that. All I'm doing is coming out here and saying that it all starts within you and how you see yourself. And if you have self-love and self-respect, you would not be treating people in this way or doing this stupid, childish shit, right? That's all I'm saying, right? How's that making me act like a winner, right? How is that, coming off like I'm trying to play life coach on easy mode? I'm not trying to do any of that. All I'm doing is saying how I feel, sir. Something that apparently you have a problem with is sharing your feelings. I have no problem sharing my feelings, right? Because you're so afraid to share your feelings, you have to come out here and project, right? Right? And like I've always said here, you come on my channel, you project, you get the eject. You got the eject, right? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not offended by what you said. It just is absolutely, it has no value for what I'm trying to create out here. Well, there is one piece of value, is to not be or do what you did. To not be like you or do what you did. So the value is, we'll quickly make people aware you're projecting. We'll ban you because when you project, you get the eject, and then we move on, right? There you go. Is that life coach on easy mode? Or is that me, trying to act like I'm entitled or something? Or is that me trying to act like a winner? It's not about winning or losing in my book, sir. It's about doing the right thing, right? I've never been about winning or losing. Sure, who doesn't like to win every now and then? But it's not even about winning or losing to me. It's about doing the right thing. It's about accepting responsibility, taking ownership of your own shit deep within, right? That's what it's all about, right? I'm going to get my lady a nice meal tonight. Yeah, and just to trigger these people, I'm going to charge that to the estate that I have full access to. I got millions of dollars that I can access from the estate at my disposal. So I'm gonna take my lady to a royal dinner tonight, and I'm going to expense that out to the Melas estate. Is that what you guys want to hear? Is that what you want to hear? Right? Wow. Wow. See, you guys called me entitled, right? The reason why you're triggered is because you feel that you should be entitled to have what I have. And because you don't have it, you're coming at me, right? Because you feel you're entitled to it, right? No one's entitled to it. You're not entitled to it. I'm not entitled to it, right? Okay? Some people are more fortunate than others to come from a good family, right? Maybe, sir, you didn't come from a good family. Maybe some of you haven't had the greatest upbringing. I feel for you, right? That doesn't mean you have to live the rest of your life like a miserable clown, right? You can turn that around for yourself and start associating with other positive and outgoing and uplifting great people, right? You could turn that around by associating with better people. But instead, you conglomerate with people that are just like you, miserable fucking clowns. That's what you do. Instead of you conglomerating with people that are going to better your life, you conglomerate with people that are miserable clowns just like you. So you further sulk together in each other's misery, right? Wow, Jesus Christ, man. That's what it is. It's the truth of the matter. Once any one of you can actually learn that, like I learned it, you're not going to let shit bother you anymore, right? Maybe that's why, sir, you feel like I'm acting like a winner. I'm not acting like a winner. I'm just happy. I'm happy within myself no matter what you say, no matter what happens. Nothing phases me. I'm trying to get you folks to be as strong as that. And if you can get to that level of strength, it'll turn your life around. It'll turn your life around to the point of where you're not going to feel the need to project on the people like me anymore. I'm just using me as an example in this case, right? It could be anyone you're projecting on, right? Taking a moment of silence here. Got 17 people here. And if there are 17 people here, like I said yesterday, there are always 15 to 20 to 25 to 30 people here on these streams, and only 2 or 3 or 4 of them are talking. And they're not bots or anything like that. These are real people. I know there are many people watching my streams that are probably blocked here, or are not blocked but are afraid to talk because you're afraid of being chastised by other creators on YouTube. Why would you ever let anyone control you at that point? I really would like to know who's watching these streams and why you're watching them. Why are the numbers so high when there isn't any botting happening, but only 2 or 3 people are talking? People are watching, they're just listening. I would really love it if you could participate and share with me what your thoughts are or why you're here. And that way, I can help you in any way possible. Right? I'm really looking to regrow this thing with good, positive people that want to go on a journey with my lady and I. And learn how to have and live the best life possible, personally and professionally. All right, folks, I'm going to go off the air for a second. I should be able to resume the stream, but there was a problem with me resuming it the other day. Okay? If I'm not back within 2 minutes or so, that means I can't resume the stream, and I'm just going to end it now. So, give me a second here. Give me a second out. I should be right back.